everything starts with data. So today we're going to start off with a data conversation. How do we look at data and figure out what should we be doing? Where should we be making investments? Because well-being and wellness are not just something that was kind of there and done, but wellness now has a whole different definition.
I like to start really at the beginning, because having been in the industry for 30 years, I certainly had heard of an autoimmune disease, but I had no idea what it was or how horrible it could be until it impacted my family personally.
We haven't talked about GLP-1s much. I try to go at least 2 minutes before I mention them. But GLP-1s, the #1 side effect is GI related. So you see that about 58% of people that stop taking these medications, it's because of the GI side effects that they're having.
But for those of you who don't know, you can fill the link 7.6 times with the amount of people who have high blood pressure in the greater Philadelphia region.
We're doing some work on AI and the administrative technology side of things, right? But there's also the administrative perspective. And so revenue cycle management, you hear a lot about ambient scribes right now. And there's a need to think about it. Okay, if we were to put a framework out to assess solutions in this space, really important that we get it right.
But this is incredibly impactful. This is destroying so much of our, there's 22 million people in this country living in active addiction, and there is hope.
My quick math is you guys control a lot of spending. I'm gonna hazard to guess, because it costs next year, on average, the expectation is $14,000 per capita healthcare expenditure in this country. So collectively, you control billions and billions of dollars.
You said something like there's this evolution of data. Yes, there is, and there's an evolution in wellness too, and what that means. And that was my learning coming to Five Below, is I have to relearn it, because what I thought I knew just wouldn't apply.
So what we know about burnout, it absolutely destroys employee engagement, right? Why do we care about that? Because for the 4th year in a row, I think employee engagement is the #1 people metric for determining future business success.
And the CEO and the chairman of the board said, Dr. Ray, are you telling me that 1 out of every 4 of my people have a mental health issue? And after I showed them the data by adding up the depression, the anxiety, the attention deficit disorder, and everything else, it was 1 out of every 4. So grouping instead of splitting becomes very important for, among other reasons, so that you can get the resources that you need to help your people in remarkable ways.